Donald Trump becomes president, what would you like to see him do to Democrats?
Escort him to the gallows.
Really? You want him
For
to...
the alt-right, execution is apparently in store for those Democrats who do not fall in line. And their crime?
Really? You want him to kill his political opponents?
I didn't. You asked me what I wanted to see.
Right, but you want to see Trump kill his political...
I want to see justice done.
Okay. What would they be sent to the gallows for?
Treason.
And for MAGA supporters like this, high crimes against the U.S. government, like treason, should be punishable by death. But conveniently ignoring their Orange and Chief's pending criminal charges. Treason is an ironic allegation coming from January 6th biggest proponents, and itching to point fingers at their opponents. This Trump supporter does the made-up math to convict Joe Biden, calling for his execution in a violent effort by the rotting right wing, attempting to wipe away their political adversaries in another fascist, militant tactic. One can only wonder how the right continues to justify its malicious undermining of the United States and its democratic institutions.
During the President Trump investigations, what did they find out? They found out that he makes a lot of money and he does a really good job at it. And I can't wait to see him back in the White House and just fixing all of this. But the American people deserve to know if Biden sold out the United States of America to line his own pockets. If you have a former vice president, now president, committing treason, then we owe it to the American people to get to the bottom of this.
Because the polemicization of language and the calls for violence are not new from the right. But the reasons for justifying always seem to shift, and today it's treason. But the belief that Joe Biden is a traitor is a lackluster accusation, a faulty condemnation coming from the Republican Party, especially considering that it has nothing to do with all of the heinous policies that Republicans are so afraid of Joe Biden passing.
If you could talk to President Biden, if he were here with us, right, just for a minute, you could ask him any question. What would you ask the president?
If I helped out the enemy during a time of war that's called treason, I could be put to death. The border is open. We got over 6 million people coming across, 300,000 people a month. And we don't know who these people are. We got like 70,000 Chinese people. We got people that we're at war with right now or possible enemies coming over. So now, these sleeper cells, if we go to war with them, he's allowing the enemy to come behind our defenses. What the hell are you doing? You should be put up for treason and put to death based off of military law.
They are so repulsed to the point of calling for a death sentence. But when you ask right-wingers what crimes of treason were committed, they might cite leaked emails or case files or Pizzagate. But either all of these are gross inequivalencies or simply just made up. And they shudder in comparison to the plethora of legal battles with civil and felony charges concerning Trump regarding deeply problematic accusations like election tampering, sexual abuse, foreign collusions, blue-collar fraud. Oh yeah, and his role in inciting a riot at the Capitol. The truth is clear, but the narrative is being distorted. And my impression is that for most Republicans, the anxiety that comes with committing acts of stupidity and violence are vivid and all too encompassing, because it is exactly those extremists that took their delusions to the extreme and marched on the Capitol on January 6th and have been facing those criminal consequences since then. This is the backwards logic of the alt-right, who by virtue of their own crimes against the country admit their guilt and still choose to lean into the narrative that they are fighting for our best interest and that this is their country country that they are fighting for. But Donald Trump and his Republican cronies are not America's greatest defenders. They are its greatest threats. And the question is not about respectability politics or cancel culture, but the matters of decency of life and a tolerance of difference, which are vital to a free and just democracy. And also like useful tools in everyday life, maybe, just saying. But in an increasingly polarizing political sector, is a newfound decorum possible when the consequences of politics become a matter of life and death? Well, I think it's obvious just how pessimistic Republicans really are. But for progressives, there is hope because our understanding of the world is pluralistic, all-encompassing. It stems from a healthy resistance against the rigid institutions which fail to meet the human moment. And in some ways they never will, and at least not in the way that humans can tend to each other. And that's why we need people, free people in a free democracy, always striving to effect positive change and progress towards the future. And you know, if that's treason, well then, I guess I'm guilty. But I'm sure in a few months' time, Donald Trump will have to admit a lot more guilt than I. This is Adrian Costa with Rebel HQ. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and check back for more videos. See you guys soon.